Well, in this video, we are going to be treating the callback function. And here I have a scripts file open, and you can see I only have the index.html file and the script.js file. And inside my index.html, I just have basic document structure, and I link it together with my JavaScript file, so we'll be able to know how the callback function works. So generally, as you all know, callback function is just a function that calls another function. So it's like we have two functions literally. So the first one, whenever the first one is called, it calls the second one on its own. So my first function is say hello. So let's say we have a function, and I'm going to be using the normal function syntax, nothing like arrow function, just the normal one. And then I can just inside it, you can see we just have say hello with curly braces, and maybe I can just console log something which says hello, maybe hello, something like that. So maybe I can just concatenate it with name, and then since I'm concatenating it with name, I need to pass the name as the parameter. So let me remove this spacing, and this our first function. I believe we all know how to call this function. I can just call this function by by just doing say hello under the function, and then opening the bracket and closing it. So that's how to invoke a function, right? So good. And then the next thing I need to pass is the name parameters, because you all see that I pass in the name parameter. So the name parameter here is the argument I'm going to pass, which is code alumni. So I can just save this, and by running this inside my browser, I believe this code should run perfectly. I believe we all know how this works, right? Great. So let's say I want to create another function. I'm not going to run that because we are not treating just a normal function. We are trying to show you how the callback function works. So let's say I'm creating another functions with a username, and then inside this function, I can just say my callback as the argument. So this is going to be the one that will contain the callback. So I'm going to like declare a variable const name to be equals to let me see, maybe it's going to ask somebody for his own name using the prompt method. If you remember, in JavaScript we have what you call what is your a prompt and alert. So this one is prompt, which we enable you to be able to input something, right? Great. So the prompt will be like what is your name, and then then we can just do my callback, and then I can pass the parameter of name to it like this. Perfect. So you can just imagine what is going to happen like this, and I can just invoke the function username, and then inside the username I'm going to invoke, let me see, pass the first function to it as a callback. So this is how it works. You see, I'm calling a function inside another function. So username, that's it, and I'm invoking the other function in it. So let's try and run it, and then see what is going to happen, as you all know. So let's copy part, and then I can just open up any of my browser, which here I'm going to be using the Firefox. I can paste it, check the console, and paste what I copied, hit on enter, and you can see we have a prompt that say what's my name. So that's the first function that first the function call, and then I can just pass in any name. I'm passing code alumni, okay, and you can see my second function was invoked successfully after I inputted the name properly. So using on the line 11, I have my username, and then after the calling the username, I call the other function, which I call as a callback function. So let's run it again with proper indentation now. Yeah, good. Hello, code alumni. I believe you all now understand that we are calling another function inside a function. Like there is one particular function that's calling the second one, right? So that's how the callback function works. So let me comment it, and let's do maybe a second example. which will basically give you a more insight on how the callback works. Believe me, we are not learning JavaScript here. This totally Express.js, Node.js, Express.js course, and then we just need to treat some things for you to be familiar. So we remember the set timeout in JavaScript, and you can see inside the set timeout, it seems there's another function in there. You can see that's an arrow function syntax. So the set timeout on its own is a function, inbuilt function in JavaScript, while we are also creating our own function in it. And then you can pass in the timeout, which definitely I'm passing 3 seconds. So inside our arrow function, the one we are going to create, we can just say console log, and then we can just pass in I will display after 3 seconds or something like that. Trust me, we have a set timeout, which is a function on its own that is called the function. We are not the one that defined that function. It's inbuilt. Set timeout is inbuilt in JavaScript. Then inside it, we have an arrow function, which is the one we are passing some argument in it that it should console.log something in our browser. So that's an example of a callback function also. Let's try to paste this inside and let's check what's going to happen in our console. Yes, I have the console open here. Hit on enter, and then we wait for 3 seconds, and I believe the message displays after 3 seconds. So here are my basic 2 examples of how the callback function work, and believe you can check up the JavaScript documentation to learn more about how the callback function works. And you, by this time, I believe you will carry along. I will be able to carry you along with anything I call callback. You won't be thinking what is callback again. See you in the next video. Bye bye. Thank you so much.